24% of employees will start job hunting after just one payroll error. 49% will start looking after the second. Payroll can spot inequities before they damage culture. Payroll can detect turnover risk before they hit profits, but only if we step forward. We can't stay silent. Every single payslip tells a story of fairness, of reward and respect. And payroll professionals are the authors. That's you. When organizations get EWA right, they're not just paying people faster, they're telling them, we see you, we respect you, we care about your success.
Managing a global team is complex, but Deel makes it simpler with payroll, HR, IT, and compliance all in one place. That's why over 35,000 businesses trust Deel to hire, pay, and manage their teams worldwide. See how Deel works at deel.com/nickday. That's DEEL.com/NICKDAY. Deel, your forever people platform.
Hello and welcome to the Payroll Podcast. I'm your host, Nick Day, and I'm excited today to bring you some insights from a recent presentation I gave on the future of payroll. If you're new to the show, the Payroll Podcast is dedicated to exploring the latest trends, challenges, and innovations in the world of payroll. We bring you expert interviews, industry news, and practical advice to help you stay ahead of the curve. And if you like what you hear today, please do remember to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. You can also find us on all major podcast platforms and on YouTube. Just search for the Payroll Podcast. I have to say, we're building a great community here. So please come and join the conversation. And please remember to share the show with all of your payroll colleagues and friends. Hit subscribe. If you're feeling really generous, leave us a 5-star review, because all these steps truly do help us reach a wider audience. Why is that important? Because we need the whole payroll community working together to help us raise the profile of the profession and to give it its rightful seat at the table. In fact, while I mention it, if you haven't heard the latest payroll song I released a few weeks ago, please do check that out as well. It's called Payroll Powers the World, and it's available on all major music platforms and on YouTube, where it even has its own music video. The song, I hope, really champions the global payroll profession. It's also very catchy, so if you're feeling brave, I'd love to see any videos of you or your teams lip-syncing the chorus, especially the line which says that it's time payroll took its place in the boardroom to shine. Right, let's crack on with today's show. No guest today, just me, and that's because I want to share with you some of my thoughts about the future of payroll. And these thoughts are going to be from my unique lens, because as you all know, as listeners of this show, I'm founder of JGA Recruitment, a global payroll recruitment agency, which means I have the privilege of speaking to global payroll, HR, and C-suite leaders worldwide. And it gives me a very unique and agnostic lens on the industry. Not just the industry, but also its challenges and where potentially I think the industry may be heading. So I want to share some of these with you today. One spoiler alert I will share with you all, though, is this: I'm excited. In fact, I'm super excited about the future of payroll. So let's dive in and find out why. Let's start, though, with the outside perception of payroll, which sadly is still one, I think, that perceives the industry as transactional and expensive, But ultimately, this is where our work, I think, really needs to begin. Why? Because payroll isn't just about the numbers anymore. It's about the people. It's about trust. And perhaps most importantly, it's about impact. We're at a transformative moment. Payroll professionals are no longer just being asked to pay people accurately. They're being asked to provide insight. Insight that can improve financial well-being, to power strategic decision-making, and to do it all faster, more accurately, and more securely than ever before. And I believe that as a result, the payroll function has shifted from back office to front line, from administrative to analytical, and from cost center to value driver. Today, I want to highlight this by showing you exactly how payroll data is starting to transform DEI, that's diversity, equity, and inclusion, talent, and even reward strategy. How payroll AI is transforming speed, precision, and insight. How earned wage access, or EWA, is becoming a strategic well-being tool for the employees you pay. I also want to talk about what global firms are doing to build resilience and innovation into their payroll systems. And finally, what this all means for future roles, skills, and the leadership that's going to be required in payroll. Because this is no longer a slow evolution. It's a moment of acceleration. Let's not forget, in fact, let's celebrate the fact that payroll is the only team that speaks to every employee every month, or if you're in the US, perhaps every week or fortnight, without fail. Think about that. Every pay cycle, payroll professionals deliver something more powerful than any HR campaign or company-wide initiative. Payroll delivers trust. And trust is built in the details. It's built when pay is accurate, on time, compliant, and understandable. And when it isn't, that trust, well, we know it can unravel in minutes. And right now, that trust is currency. Let's be honest, in an economy where talent is tight, turnover is expensive, and well-being is finally being recognized for its real impact, payroll has become the single most consistent touch point of employee experience. At JJ Recruitment, we're finally seeing organizations wake up to this reality, and that's super exciting because in this new reality, payroll is no longer a quiet back office operation. It's now frontline. Payroll is interpreting patterns, advising leadership, and supporting strategy. So we need to build payroll teams that can analyze, communicate, and influence. And we need to lead, not wait. We need to lead for the future to arrive because it already has. The evidence supports this shift as well. 75% of job seekers research employer pay practices before applying, according to Glassdoor. Meanwhile, 78% of payroll professionals now say that compliance and fairness are board-level concerns, according to the ADP Future of Pay 2024 report. You see, payroll is no longer just about execution. It's about informing, advising, and influencing. That's why at JGA, we're seeing a rise in new payroll leadership roles focused on workforce analytics, pay transparency, and global mobility. We're also seeing payroll professionals stepping into strategic conversations about brand trust, ESG reporting, corporate social responsibility, and workforce culture. The impact here is not theoretical. Consider this. Research shows that closing the global gender pay gap could add 13 trillion to the world economy. That's according to the World Economic Forum. You see, payroll holds the clearest data to measure and improve pay equity, data around gender representation, pay equity, and bonus distribution fairness. Payroll shines a spotlight on hidden gaps and helps organizations to act early. And studies show that greater transparency, it directly boosts attraction, engagement, and retention. So let's talk about that employee experience. Because for employers, pay is about trust, fairness, and dignity. For employees, a pay slip is proof they are valued. Therefore, it's easy to see how payroll professionals can directly influence how trusted the company feels, how fairly employees feel treated, and how loyal they feel. Because when payroll is accurate, it builds confidence and it builds trust. But when it's inaccurate, it destroys it. And this is supported by research which shows that 24% of employees will start job hunting after just one payroll error. 49% will start looking after the second. And that's according to the Kronos Workforce Institute studies. Separately, 25% of employees who experience pay errors are already job hunting. To try and illustrate this, I often share a story about a CHRO from a 9,000 employee company who told me they recruited their head of payroll internally from accounts. They were really happy. They'd been hitting 95% payroll accuracy. So I thought I would point out to them that that meant that 450 employees were effectively being paid incorrectly every single month. That means, based on research, around 108 employees would start job hunting after that first error, and around 220 would be after the second. Now, these are real, measurable, tangible risks to retention, trust, and profitability. See, payroll mistakes cost far more than money and admin time. They cost trust, culture, and brand equity. But when payroll is fair, transparent, and timely, it strengthens culture. And today, payroll's clean data lets organizations move beyond assumptions. They can measure fairness, report it, and improve it. And the most exciting part of this realization, Payroll professionals are at the heart of this opportunity. Payroll also potentially holds the key to game-changing DEI results. That's diversity, equity, and inclusion. You see, modern payroll systems, they can enable gender pay audits, ethnicity pay audits, bonus fairness reviews, and benefits participation insights. Payroll enables organizations to prove equity, not just promise it. As one guest said on this very show, the Payroll podcast, if payroll is the only function that knows the truth, then it has a duty to speak up, and I couldn't agree more. The future is clear. Payroll isn't about payments anymore. It's about interpreting workforce dynamics. You see, payroll informs budget forecasting, regional competitiveness, retention risk modeling, benefits value analysis, and hybrid work cost modeling. In short, payroll holds insights that leadership desperately needs. The organizations that embed payroll into its strategy will win, and those that do not, I think they're going to struggle. Because in today's world of pay transparency laws, ESG obligations, and global workforces, payroll sits at the center, not HR, not finance, payroll. Payroll holds up a mirror to the organization. We hear Pete Tiliakos and other great payroll influencers talk about this all the time. You see, payroll can spot inequities before they damage culture. Payroll can detect turnover risks before they hit profits. But only if we step forward. We can't stay silent. Every single payslip tells a story of fairness, of reward and respect. And payroll professionals are the authors. That's you. Listeners of this wonderful show, you are the authors. So let me ask you, when your HR or finance leader next needs workforce answers, will they turn to you? Will they turn first to payroll? Hopefully they will. Hopefully, now that we've reframed payroll and we've recognized its strategic power, I think we can start to look at the next big accelerator of change. It's the elephant in the room, the thing that everyone seems to be fearful of. Artificial intelligence, automation, biometrics, and agentic systems. Now, whether we're ready or not, the future has arrived and payroll is at the front line of this transformation. And I think that's super exciting. If we consider today's reality, 60% of payroll tasks are already automatable, according to EY 2023. 80% of operations will be AI supported by 2027. That's according to Gartner. These evolutions, they include real-time error detection, fraud flagging through anomaly patterns, predictive alerts for late filings, auto-resolution of queries, and smart pay suggestions based on behavior and role. You see, AI is no longer futuristic, it's operational now. And it's not here to replace payroll professionals, despite what the headlines might say. It's here to free you. It's here to help augment the role that you do, freeing you from repetitive tasks so you can focus on insight, strategy, risk management, and of course, employee experience. Here are some real-world payroll examples. You see, Visa used AI to detect $25 billion in fraud through expense monitoring. PwC's GL.ai tool accelerates audit accuracy by rapidly scanning for anomalies. Meanwhile, EY has seen a significant increase in employee satisfaction, 25%, and efficiency, 30%, after implementing payroll chatbots. And according to Gartner, AI is not theoretical. It's happening now. And this is just the beginning. You see, AI and biometrics are already reshaping payroll and attendance. The Museum of the Future in Dubai adopted Invixium biometrics, and as a result, they slashed payroll discrepancies and cut costs significantly. Modern biometric systems are also starting to integrate with payroll, automating real-time attendance, overtime calculations, leave and benefits management, and real-time performance-linked compensation. You see, by tying attendance to identity, biometrics can eliminate ghost employees, prevent timesheet fraud, and ensure authorized only access, dramatically improving accuracy and compliance. And this is just the start. See, payroll is becoming more intelligent and more deeply connected to employee experience and trust than ever before, and it's going even further. In some models, biometric data from wearables, I think, could influence dynamic compensation payroll payments.
Attention payroll leaders, if you're listening to this, you already know that payroll has never been more complex. Compliance risks are rising, skilled talent is scarce, and getting it wrong can cost your business way more than just money. It can cost you trust, retention, and of course, brand reputation. I'm Nick Day, host of this show and also CEO of JGA Recruitment Group, specialist global payroll recruiters. Here at JGA, we're so passionate about payroll, we've even turned it into music. Don't believe us? Head to your favorite audio platform and search for Payroll Powers the World, and you can quite literally join us in song about how we believe payroll deserves its moment in the boardroom to shine. At JGA, we'd like to think our passion shines through to our recruitment results as well. With a 97% retention rate and an average 19-day job brief to hire success rate, we work fast, we work strategically, and we work with purpose to connect you to the hidden payroll talent that job ads and direct search methods will simply never reach. So if you're hiring or indeed planning to hire, why not partner with the experts that are shaping the future of payroll? Partner with jgarecruitment.com today, or better yet, drop me a message directly, and together we can make sure your next payroll hire is your best one yet.
For example, we could look at wellness metrics like stress, sleep, and even fitness, and then we can help tailor more personalized bonuses or even flexible hours. Imagine a future where payroll doesn't just react, but it adapts proactively to employee well-being. This could drive real gains in retention and performance. But even beyond biometrics, we've got tokenization to consider, and it's definitely coming. Tokenization, for those not familiar, in a payroll sense, will mean instant payments using digital tokens or stable coins. Borderless micropayments could be used for remote or gig workers, and the elimination of banking delays and currency fees. Some early stage companies already pay bonuses through crypto wallets or stable assets. See, it's not mainstream yet, but it's moving faster than many expect. And that means payroll is going to need to understand smart contracts, instant settlements, and global compliance in a tokenized economy. Agentic AI is the next evolution, and this is where it gets even more crazy and more interesting, because agentic AI refers to systems that don't just automate tasks. They can make decisions, take actions, and adjust plans based on changing information independently. Just imagine payroll systems that detect non-compliance, then suggest a solution, then recalculates pay runs, then notifies managers, all automatically. For example, right now, we may ask our traditional AI systems to run this payroll report. However, agentic AI will, within the limits that you impose, act independently to achieve your goals without constant prompting. It will proactively find payroll errors, fix them, and even notify HR without even asking you. That's agentic AI in action, which means payroll leaders will soon oversee AI co-pilots and not just systems. And that means understanding how to manage AI responsibly is going to become critical. However, although AI is now the engine, payroll is still the driver. And what does that driver need? Judgment, interpretation, and the ability to ask good questions. As one of my previous payroll podcast guests once said, Nick, AI delivers the what, but it's payroll's job to answer the why. Because AI will highlight outliers for sure, but it won't understand the context. That's still human territory. And agentic AI does not replace judgment, it amplifies it. Hence, payroll professionals will still need to interpret data and not just prepare for it, frame risks and opportunities, not just report them, and govern AI outputs for fairness, accuracy, and ethics. You see, AI is the tool, but it's human insight that's the irreplaceable advantage. Let's be realistic. McKinsey predicts that 30% of payroll jobs could be automated over the next decade. But payroll teams embracing AI could unlock 40% productivity gains. You see, the opportunity is huge, but only for those willing to lead change. Soon at JGA, we won't be looking for people who know every tax code by heart. That's just the reality of where we are. Instead, organizations will be asking us to find payroll professionals who can do 4 things consistently. 1, Ask the right questions. 2. Translate data into stories. 3. Influence decisions at the table. And 4. Adapt to tools that are evolving monthly. These are human skills and they're non-negotiable. So the question isn't, will AI change payroll? Because it already is, right? We know that. In fact, by 2049, AI is predicted to be 1 billion times smarter than the smartest human. We call this moment singularity, the moment where we can no longer see or predict how AI will behave because our perception and our projections will simply no longer apply. Therefore, the real question for now is this: are you ready to lead with it, or will you be led by it? Because payroll's future is intelligent, it's ethical, and it's human-centered. And that future starts right now with you and me on this podcast, the Payroll Podcast, right now. Because it leads us all back to people. Because payroll's future is not just about automation and AI, it's about employee experience. And that brings us to a major trend that we all know is reshaping how payroll supports the employee experience. And that's the rise of earned wage access, also known as EWA or on-demand pay and various other terms as well. If we go with EWA for now, essentially EWA allows employees to access a portion of their earned wages before the traditional payroll cycle. Simple in concept, but absolutely transformative, potentially in impact. But why does this matter? Well, financial stress is one of the leading causes of employee disengagement, absenteeism, and turnover. And payroll sits at the heart of financial well-being. See, 57% of UK workers say access to EWA would reduce financial stress. There's a 35% turnover reduction reported at companies offering EWA. 96% of employers say EWA improves recruitment and engagement. 1 in 3 employees in the UK live month to month. The financial health, mental health link is real. In fact, 46% of individuals in problem debt also have a mental health issue. 86% of those with mental health struggles say their financial situation worsens their condition. So when we strengthen financial stability through payroll, we improve emotional well-being, engagement, and loyalty. And at JJ Recruitment, we've seen it firsthand. Employers who add EWA into their employee value proposition, especially in industries like logistics and hospitality, they see faster recruitment pipelines and drastically improved retention. Real-world studies also show the impact. Financial wellness pop-ups integrated into payslips. At JG Recruitment, we've seen it firsthand. Employers who add EWA into their employee value proposition, especially in industries like logistics and hospitality, they see faster recruitment pipelines and improved retention. Real-world studies show the impact as well. Financial wellness pop-ups integrated into payslips doubled payroll portal engagement and cut payroll-related queries by 40%. Companies embedding budgeting and savings tools alongside earned wage access, or EWA, saw employee satisfaction scores rise significantly as well. See, from my perspective, and from those I hear in the payroll world, I think that are using EWA in particular, I think the message is pretty clear. When payroll supports well-being, employees respond. They become happier, less distracted, more motivated, more productive, and more loyal. And payroll has the ability to deliver that stability because EWA can give people access to what they have already earned when they need it. A previous guest on this show said it perfectly. He said, Nick, we used to reward loyalty with annual bonuses. Now we reward trust with daily access. And employee preferences are changing fast. 80% of employees would prefer pay to be deposited as they earn it, according to an HR Daily Advisor survey. The workforce is demanding flexibility, and I think payroll is perfectly positioned to deliver it. EWA, of course, is just the beginning. Some companies are going further, combining EWA access with budgeting tools, automated savings programs, and financial education modules. When financial wellness support is embedded into payroll, employees respond. This is payroll becoming a partner to well-being, not just a processor of pay. And when it's done well, the benefits, I think, are really clear because EWA can reduce absenteeism, improve engagement, strengthen recruitment pipelines, and enhance the employer brand at the same time, all without adding significant cost or administrative burden. The workforce is asking for flexibility. Payroll is perfectly placed to deliver it, processing pay to empowering people. Payroll has always been about making sure people get the pay they deserve, but now it's about something even more. It's about experience. It's about empowerment. It's about trust. And that's the future of payroll. Because when organizations get EWA right, they're not just paying people faster, they're telling them, we see you, we respect you, we care about your success. And that's the future employees want to work for. So if you are still with me, let's try and bring everything together. I know I've talked about a lot. I think we've reframed payroll. We've recognized its strategic power, and we've explored AI, automation, tokenization, EWA, and employee experience. So now I want us all just to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Where is payroll heading globally? Here are some select key global trends. In Singapore, firms link payroll with financial well-being platforms, combining pay, savings, and budgeting tools, according to Mercer APAC trends. In Brazil, companies are using WhatsApp payroll bots to speed up employer queries, according to an IBM case study. In Germany, ESG updates are being embedded directly into digital payslips, linking pay to corporate sustainability goals, according to EU Responsible Business Insights. Across the UK and Europe, new pay transparency laws are already making detailed payroll reporting not just a best practice, but a legal requirement. So I think the direction is clear. Payroll is becoming faster, more transparent, more deeply integrated into employee experience, and central to brand trust and compliance than ever before. The old boundaries of payroll are dissolving. Payroll is moving into well-being, data ethics, sustainability, and future work models. This means that the future of payroll will also demand new skills, because tomorrow's payroll leaders are going to need data fluency, things like interpreting trends, spotting risks, tech literacy, working with AI, biometrics and automation, strategic influence, guiding leadership with insight, agility, adapting to new laws, global changes, and hybrid work. And of course, human empathy, because pay slips will always be about people first. These are the capabilities that are going to define the next generation of payroll leadership, not just technical excellence or knowledge, but business influence. The demand for these skills is only increasing. We're seeing this in our lens from JGA Recruitment. 30% of payroll jobs could be automated according to McKinsey, but 50% of employees globally are going to need reskilling anyway by 2025, according to the World Economic Forum. 85% of jobs in 2030 don't even exist yet, according to the Institute for the Future. See, change isn't coming. It's already here, but we needn't be afraid of it. Because the payroll professionals who thrive are going to be those who see beyond process and become strategic partners to their businesses. And here's the really good news. Payroll is perfectly positioned for this future because you already manage data at scale, you already operate under strict compliance, and you already balance human needs with business realities. These are the exact skills the future demands. To meet this moment, payroll roles, of course, are going to adapt, and we are going to see more roles, new roles come to the fore. Things like chief payroll officers, a seat at the table, let's hope so. Payroll innovation leads, pay equity analysts, payroll AI governance directors, and maybe even chief payroll ethicists. Who knows? But notice that these roles are not about processing. They're about protecting data, protecting compliance, protecting culture, protecting employee experience. You see, payroll sits at the intersection of three things: money, data, and trust. And in today's world, that is a really powerful combination, because the payroll teams of the future won't just execute, they'll advise, they'll guide, and they'll lead. And we're seeing this at JGA. We recently helped a client in the tech sector hire a head of payroll. That head of payroll now sits on its ESG steering committee. Why? Because their team owns the data behind pay equity, behind living wage alignment, and regional employment trends. That's influence. And that's where I think payroll is heading. And that's why I'm excited. So look, there's been a lot to get through today. I wanted to share some of my thoughts with you all. And as we round off today's chat about the future of payroll, I want to leave you all with a final challenge. When you finish listening to this podcast and you go back to your organizations, ask yourself, what will your payroll team be known for in 12 months? Will it be the team that brought data to the boardroom? The team that introduced EWA and boosted retention? The team that built trust through fairness, transparency, and experience? The team perhaps that improved financial well-being for its employees? The team that protected brand reputation through governance and compliance? Whatever it is, in the next 30 days, challenge yourself. Start just one new strategic conversation. Maybe it's with your HR director, your CFO, your COO, your CHRO, whoever it might be, your CEO. But ask them this one simple question. What workforce insight do you wish you had, but don't? Then show them how payroll can deliver it, because leadership needs real data, real storytelling, and real insights. And payroll professionals can provide all three. When you do, we will really start to shift those outdated perceptions, those transactional back office perceptions, because payroll is no longer just about ensuring people are paid, right? Payroll is about ensuring people are valued, ensuring businesses stay trusted, and ensuring leadership decisions are smart and sustainable. Do this, and I think you will secure payroll's place not just at the table, but at the center of organizational success. Because payroll is no longer back office. Payroll is the strategic powerhouse for fairness, for strategy, for trust, and for a better future of work. Because the future of payroll is not just about numbers anymore, it's about people. And that future starts with us, you. If you're listening to this right now, it starts with you. There's a lot to get through, and I thank you so much if you're still with me for joining me today on the Payroll Podcast. I hope you found some of my, hypotheses insightful. If you did, please remember to subscribe, and if you can, leave me a review. It really helps us to reach more people and to broaden the world of payroll, to raise the profile of payroll. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn, and don't forget to visit our Payroll Podcast YouTube channel for even more content. Somewhere where you will also find our new Payroll Powers the World song and its music video, which you can share with your teams to really help raise morale on one of those dark Monday mornings. All I'll say now is keep leading the way in payroll, everyone that listens to this show. And until next time, my name is Nick Day. I've been your host on this show, the Payroll Podcast. And until next time, take care of each other and be kind, because everyone is going through something. Thank you.
Global teams are more connected today than ever. But managing payroll, HR, and IT can still feel fragmented. But Deel simplifies global work with one platform that keeps everything running smoothly. No compliance guesswork, no third-party payroll, just seamless operations backed by 24/7 expert support. That's why over 35,000 companies trust Deel to handle their global workforce. Visit deel.com/nickday to see how Deel can help. That's DEEL.com/NICKDAY. Deel, your forever people platform.